welcome. I'm Belle. This is my classroom, and today I have a super fun and colorful video for you guys. I'm gonna talk about tips to learn and improve, brush up your English. That's right. Before we go into the video, please make sure to subscribe to my channel. I put a new video every single Friday. As you know, my videos are always super fun and colorful. Also, all my videos are family friendly, child friendly, just friendly in general. And I do story time, storytelling, even ASMR lately. But that's another story. Before we go into the video, please make sure to subscribe to my channel. I put a new video every single Friday. I put educational videos and all that fun stuff. So yeah, let's go right into the video. Before we go into the tips, I have to tell you guys something that I have no idea at all if I told you this, but I'm 100% self-taught. I never had an English course. I was born and raised in a country that doesn't have English as a mother language, or even I was born in a country that doesn't speak English at all. Like on the streets, like in places, you just don't hear people speaking English. So that was my reality. But I developed some interest in English, and I decided to learn by myself. So that's how I became how I learned it by myself. So yeah, I'm self-taught. I never had like formal English education and stuff. I went to college, to become a professional teacher. Of course, I had to go to college, but I went to college for methodology and approaches and educational stuff. I didn't learn English in college. I learned English by myself. So yeah, before we go to the tips, that's what I had to tell you guys. So yeah, without further ado, let's go right into these freaking tips for you to learn English. And if you know English, stay tuned, because these tips are good for you to brush up your English too. So stay tuned. Yeah, so tip number 1 is the best tip ever. Like, you won't believe this works, but it does. Believe me, I learned English by myself. So if I did it, you can too. Watch more movies and listen to more music in English. That helps so much. Like, you have no idea how much that helps, because when you listen to music a lot, you watch a lot of films in English, you just get in touch with the language, and that's one of the most important things you can do when you're learning a language, especially if you don't live in an English-speaking country, as I said before. So that's very, very, very important, and I bet that won't be a problem, because that's super fun. Nowadays you have Netflix. Like, when I was growing up and I was learning English, I didn't have Netflix, so it was a whole other story. So yeah, it was a lot more difficult back then, but nowadays, oh my god, there are so many possibilities. The possibilities are just endless. So watch more movies, but how am I gonna learn? Like, how am I gonna feel that I'm actually practicing? The thing is, get a film, pick a film. I did this a lot with rom-coms, because they're really simple. They have like a super simple story. And get a movie that you know, like, the plot of the movie. So I was familiar with the movie. I had already watched it in my mother language. So I did this a lot with 13 going on 30. A lot. Like, I know that movie backwards. You have no idea how many times I watched that movie, and I love it. But yeah, watch a movie, put English subtitles and English and the original language, which would probably be English. You know, if you're watching on that, if you're watching a movie that's like Spanish or something, like don't do that. Do it with a Hollywood movie or something like that. That would be a lot better. So yeah, pick a film, put the original audio, and put English subtitles. So you listen and you read at the same time, and you'll be able to recognize some words. With music, I feel like that's I feel like a lot of people talk about it because it's obvious. Like when you hear a song, you sing a song, that's good for pronunciation. But something that people don't talk about a lot is that's fantastic for intonation. Some people forget about intonation, and I always tell my students, especially my adult students, I also teach adults, but I always tell them, like, one of the things that make people know that you're not American or not English or whatever is your accent, because I don't know what happens, but when you're learning English, you tend to feel kind of insecure. I mean, I know what happens. You feel insecure, duh. But yeah, you feel insecure because you're just learning the language and your accent is still there quite a lot. I mean, I still have my accent, of course. I have a massive accent, I know that. But when you're learning, you have a much bigger accent and all that. And I tell my students that listening to music helps a lot because you work on your intonation. Intonation is really important. People take intonation for granted. Don't do that. Work on your intonation through music. So yeah, let's go to my second tip. My second tip would be learn sentences, not words. Like, I know that when you start learning a new language, you sometimes really want to translate things, and that's horrible. I'm sorry if you do that. Don't do that. That's horrible. Don't translate things. Like, some things you can, but others are super difficult. Like, unless you are like a professional translator or professional interpreter, that's a whole other story. But if you're not, like you probably aren't if you're watching the video, you're just a person trying to improve your English, don't translate things and don't focus on words, focus on sentences, and most importantly, focus on context. Like, focus on the context. Like, if you're reading a text, I know people who do that a lot. Like, they're reading something and they see a word that they don't know the meaning and they freak out and they say, like, I'm not understanding anything. I don't understand a word of this text. But they do. They understand the context. They understand what it says. They're just, stuck. They get stuck because of one word. And some sentences in English, they don't have translation for your language. So that's something you have to work on, definitely. Always work on that. Don't try to know what the word means. Try to know what the context means, what the expression means. Try to work through the context. Try to work through that, and you see how much it will improve your English. That's for sure, like 100%. And the last tip, and the most important tip in my opinion, is number 3, which is totally connected to the other ones, which is stop thinking in your mother language. Stop doing that, because when you think in your mother language, like, you just don't go into English mode. You have to switch your language to English mode. You have to get into English mode to learn English, to understand. And it's not because, as I said before in tip 2, I guess these are all connected, but it's not because you don't understand one word that you don't know the language. Like, you know it, you're learning it, and you learn the most through context. try to think in English, and something that I did a lot, I still do that, but I talk alone a lot. I mean, I'm talking to a camera right now, so I guess I do talk alone, but I always try to do that, and that something that will help you understand and get over your fear of not translating things. That this tip helps with number two, because if you think in English, you won't translate that much anymore, at least not that much anymore. So yeah, these were my tips. So let's just recap everything. So do you remember? Number one, listen to music in English and watch more movies in English. That will help you a lot, especially understanding things. I think I didn't mention this, but it will help you understand things more. For example, if you don't understand a lot of British accents, for example, you just watch Harry Potter. Watch Harry Potter, put the subtitles. With time, you get used to the accent and you understand things more often. You understand how their accent works and how they communicate, and that helps amazingly. Yeah. Tip number two was learn sentences, not words. Totally learn sentences, not words, because first of all, translation doesn't work all the time. It works if you are a professional translator. If you're not, don't focus on words, focus on the sentences. And tip number three was think in English. Like when you study English, just switch to English. Forget your mother language. Just switch to English. Try to communicate using the English that you have. And when you listen to people, have an open mind. And if you don't understand one single word, if you don't understand like one specific word, don't worry, it's okay. Just work through that word and understand the context, because I bet you will understand the context. That's like when you're learning your mother language. You don't have another language to translate. That's just your mother language, and that's how it works. And this was an extra tip, but be patient. It doesn't work overnight. You won't learn another language overnight. And it's okay, it's fine. Imagine a child, like a child who was a newborn baby. How long does it take for the newborn baby to start speaking? And they don't speak correctly, and they have influences all the time. People are always talking to them and trying to, making them speak. But if you don't live in an English-speaking country, that will definitely be more difficult for you, because you speak another language 24/7. So when you get into English mode, be patient. It's okay, right? That you didn't learn English overnight, because nobody did. There's no magic pill, there is no magic pill like that. It doesn't work like that. So yeah, these were my tips. If you liked this video, please give this video a thumbs up. Please give me a chance. Subscribe to my channel. I put in a video every single Friday. And as I told you guys before, I'm self-taught, so everything that I do is from the heart. Please give me a chance and subscribe to my channel. And please share this video with your friends, everyone around you who is trying to learn a new language. Share these tips. I have a lot more, let me tell you. I learn language by myself, so I know more tips. So if you want, please subscribe, give this video a big thumbs up, and comment below your tip. What do you do to improve your English, to brush up your English? What helps you the most? Please share in the comments below so other people can see and you can help other people too. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next week for a brand new video. Bye!